this error is actually essentially a bug, a code error, because I think in retrospect, they would have pulled pricing from across exchanges to set the price for that stablecoin rather than rely on internal quotes. But this has resulted in a lot of market makers and traders having less capital. And as you know, as crypto prices drift lower because trading volumes drop, they need to then have more capital available, which means they shrink their balance sheet further. So this is then that reflexive weakening.
Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros. And you just saw in that clip, that was Tom Lee saying there is a glitch in the system. That is why Bitcoin and crypto have been selling off. Tom Lee has been a perma over the past couple of years. I'm going to get into strategy here and Bitcoin. But before we do that, I want to look at some of the job numbers that came out today. And there's something very interesting going on in the economy right now. You can see right here, this is the job numbers that came out for September. So these were the numbers we were supposed to get in early October 4th, I believe. And they were delayed because of the government shutdown. We're now seeing that they just came out and the US added 120,000 jobs above expectations of 53,000 jobs. So basically when that happened this morning, the odds of the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates dropped and the market sold off. And also looking at what we're going to be getting for the rest of the month, which is very interesting here because this is just recently changed. They came out and said that we're not going to get the November jobs report until December 16th. This was previously December 5th. This was supposed to be 5 days before the FOMC meeting. Now we're not going to get the November jobs until after the FOMC meeting. So along with that, there's no October job numbers. They have completely wiped those away. We're not going to get the job numbers from October. As you can see, there's nothing here. So those are just completely gone. And those were projected to be the worst job numbers, which could have caused the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. We're not getting those anymore. We were supposed to get those early November, and they said we're not getting them. Also, we're not getting CPI for November. We were supposed to get CPI on the same day as the FOMC meeting. And this is something that we've been watching on our channel for a very long time, the release of these jobs reports along with CPI. This is something that we have been following for over half a decade in this market. And this is the first time that we've seen something like this. And I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like that there's some potential manipulation going on here, potentially from the Trump admin or somebody else within the government. This does not make any sense at all, that they're just not going to be releasing these numbers. And then they push numbers back until after the FOMC meeting. So we're probably not going to get a rate cut in early December. And the market right now is pricing that in. As you can see right here, right now we're at a 67% chance of not getting any rate cut. So seems like some manipulation going on there. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. Just had to look at that first because this just does not make any sense that they're kind of removing jobs reports, pushing them past FOMC date. Just seems like a lot of potential manipulation going on with the markets right now. So yeah, take that for what it is. And then wanted to get into MSTR here, down 5% again here, below $200 at 177. This is basically a falling knife right now. As you can see, the market cap is down to $50 billion. Their Bitcoin net asset value is down to $56 billion. So the company continues to lose value. And something that we saw this week that is not looking good is STRC has decoupled from around that $99 to $101 price that strategy is looking to keep that at. And the volatility on this thing has gone way up. The historic volatility is 16%. And now I know that STRC is a new product. It's still very early, but we want to see STRC in the next week start to go back towards $100. Seeing this thing drop 7-8% all the way down to $93, this is not going to instill confidence in investors who want that steady rate of return. And they are going to switch the dividend rate and they're going to manipulate this to try to get the price higher. And this may crawl back to $99 to $100 over next week, which would be good to see. But this is not a good look for Saylor right now. He's telling people in the short term, if you just need a money market, you want to go to STRC. But STRC going down 7% in a couple of days, I don't think people are going to look at that and think it's a money market or something that can replace their money market. So that is definitely not a good look in my personal opinion. And also with STRC falling below the price that they wanted at, and some of these other prefers not doing well either, and Strategy's price is down, the MNAV is not looking very well. I don't know if they're going to be able to buy Bitcoin this week. So we'll see if Strategy buys Bitcoin. We'll see next Monday, and we'll see how much Bitcoin they buy. But I definitely don't think that's a good look for STRC starting out here. I know the product's new. We got to give them time to develop this out. But I think Strategy may need to think about some ways to keep this more steady to $99, because if it's going to be volatile like Bitcoin, people aren't going to want to invest in this for a stable 10% return. And even in downturns in the market, that's something that you definitely have to always account for the strategy team, because Bitcoin is a very volatile asset. Seeing that go down to $93 is not a good look, in my personal opinion. Still bullish on the company. And I'm not saying that Strategy can't make their dividend payments on any of the preferreds. They're going to be able to do that. Strategy came out and said even if Bitcoin goes up 1.5% a year, they'll be able to pay the dividend payment forever. So I don't think that's anything you have to worry about or any liquidation levels. But in terms of keeping STRC steady at around 99 to 101, I think they need to do a better job. That's not a good look. And Bitcoin going down is not an excuse, because we know Bitcoin is going to be volatile. So just don't think that's a good look as of right now for Strategy. But let me know what you guys think about that if you disagree with me in the comment section. And you can see here some good news. $60 billion U.S. Arizona State Pension Fund, they increased their MSTR position to around $15 million. And then you have Metaplanet. They're raising $150 million to buy the dip and buy more BTC. That is a good look from Metaplanet there. They're able to raise more capital in an environment where Bitcoin is trading down. That is definitely a good look for Metaplanet. And then in terms of BTC, this is the most oversold that we have been since August of 2023. So this is just showing it maybe a decent time to buy the dip. But also, you don't want to get FOMO and think Bitcoin is just going to recover really quickly over the next couple of weeks. We're hitting a resistance level here, 100 daily, right here at around $85,000. So that may be some support for us there. But if you look at what Bitcoin has done historically, when Bitcoin starts to fall, and if we're going to be going into a bear market, you're going to have time to buy. If Bitcoin's going to set a new level, and then it's going to start to consolidate, and you're going to have time to buy at lower prices. Bitcoin's not going to just come down here to $80,000 and then shoot right back up to 126 a day later. You're going to have time to buy the dip, wait for a potential consolidation, start to dollar cost average in. That is not financial advice, but that is what I would look out for if you're looking to acquire more BTC. If history serves any purpose, you're definitely going to have time to buy the dip. But right now also is not a bad time to buy. We are down 30% from the highs. Not saying we can't go lower, but buying something 30% off a strong asset like Bitcoin, that is a good buy in my personal opinion. And if you look at the strategy chart, it's probably even a bigger discount for Strategy in terms of where they're at from the high that we saw a couple months ago. Yeah, we're down 60%. So Strategy could definitely go lower, hitting a potential support level here at around the $180 level. So I think we'll definitely see a bounce here, because we've had a lot of red weeks in a row, around 8 or 9 red weeks in a row. So we probably will see a bounce here for Strategy, but obviously not a bad buy if you're looking to get in at a 60% discount. And then looking at Tom Lee with Bitmine, they are down $3.5 billion in unrealized losses. So the DATs, the digital asset treasuries, Strategy, the Bitcoin treasury companies, and even the Ethereum treasury companies are all in some really huge losses right now. They're all down big right now, but eventually the bull market will come back. Bitcoin will rally back to old all-time highs, break its all-time highs, and set new levels, and Strategy will be back, and some of these other DATs are definitely going to make it if they can handle this downturn. So I just want to get you guys brought back up to speed on everything going on in the market. It was a quick video here today, but a lot of blood in the market. And always remember to be greedy while others are fearful, and be fearful while others are greedy. Not saying go all in right now, but it doesn't hurt to buy the dip. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. See you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.